Hi, my name is Osahun, your trainer for today. In this lab, I'm going to create an EBS data lifecycle. An EBS data lifecycle is used to automate the process of creating, retaining, copying, and deleting snapshots and AMI. So the process is straightforward and very simple. We are going to create an instance on an Amazon Linux. On the instance, we are going to convert it from a server to a web server by using the user scripting, data scripting. And after that, we are going to set a policy on our EBS. With the policy, we can achieve creating, retaining, copying, and deleting snapshots and AMI. So the process is truly simple. I will take you and guide you through this lab. I want you to pay close attention while we proceed. So first thing, we are going to create an instance. So we go to our EC2, come to our instance, click on launch instance. I'll give it, because we are creating a web server, so that is the name I'm tagging this particular website. So I'm going to leave the AMI as default, leave the instance type as default, T2 micro. I'm going to select my key, and on the setting here, I may edit or leave it the way it is. However, for the purpose of this lab, I'm going to edit it, use the VPC as default, I'm going to select the subnets and choose an availability zone. The public IP is enabled. Security, I can see the firewalls and security details, creating a new firewall and security detail, or I can use an existing. So let me just create a new firewall. Just go down, leave everything as default. We come to the inbound security group role. By default, we have the SSH with a port range of 22. This is associated with Linux server. So now I'm going to add an additional security group role. I'll be adding the HTTP and the source type. I'm going to click on anywhere. I'm still going to add another, which is HTTPS, and the source type anywhere. So I have successfully set up my network. So this is the setup. The VPC defaults, the subnet, I chose an availability zone of my choice where this server will be hosted. The public IP is enabled. We are creating our security. Okay, this determines if it's a public or a private, okay, website. So as long as it is on the web to be accessed, we have to look at the inbound security rule. We include an additional row. so that it can interact with the third party through the web. We have HTTP and HTTPS added. So now we move further. We can see the storage capacity as 8 gig. This is the root volume for Linux. So at this point we move to the advanced details. So I have to scroll down carefully to the bottom and I'll see the session user data. So what I'm going to do is to include my script here. And just a quick summary of every single action and step that was taken. I'll click on launch instance. So we have launched the EC2 instance. That means we have created the server. So I'll click on the instance ID. And we can see it is already running and the status check is showing as initializing. So we are going to wait for an update. The update should confirm the status check as successful, that 2 of 2 or 3 of 3 successful. So I keep refreshing. It may take 2 minutes, a couple of minutes for this to be updated. So we just keep refreshing. So we can see the status check as 2 of 2 passed. At this point, we have successfully created a web server. So we can go to the public IP of this server that is running at the moment, open an incognito site, paste and enter. So this is a way of testing the contents on the web server. So this is what we have successfully created. So the web server that we created has interpreted the script that was placed on the user interface, user data interface. So we go back to our AWS cloud. Now the goal of this particular session is to automate the creation, copy, retention of snapshots and AMI, which is pretty much very simple. So all we have to do at this point is come back to the AWS cloud. We go straight down to EBS, which is Elastic Block Store. We are going to see Lifecycle Manager. So click on Lifecycle Manager. By default, the Lifecycle Manager is to automate the creation, retention, copy, and deletion of the snapshots and AMI. So straight on, all we need to do is create an instance, which we just did, a web server. We have done the testing of this web server. The next thing we are going to do is to set the policy. So I'm going to select the EBS backed AMI policy. I click on next step. So on the left hand side, we see the steps that we need to take. Specific setting, configure, schedule one, and then review and create. So we are going to create a tag name. I can use Linux. Okay. Name. The value I can use Linux web server, and I'll click on add. So I've added the name of the server here. Scroll down. Here I can put in demo as my description, or if you have a description for your policy, you type it in. We'll leave everything as default, and we'll click on next. So now we've come to schedule, because we are automating, so we are going to schedule the interval to which the Lifecycle manager creates an instance or creates the snapshots. So first, we can either select daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. So on this, we can put a name here. Let me have the name here as Linux Life. The frequency, I want it to be daily, and the time every 1 hour. So that means every 1 hour a snapshot will be taken, and also an AMI will be associated with the snapshots. So the start point, I can define the start point when I want the process to start, but I can leave it as default as 9 o'clock. Retention type, the count, how many do you want created in an hour? So I can make 1, 2, or 3, but it all depends on you. How many snapshots do you want to create automatically? So I'm going to select 2. You can select 4. It all depends on what you want to achieve and how many you choose to have. At this point, I'll scroll down. I'll click on review policy, and finally I'll click on create policy. So we have successfully achieved our goal. Once again, we created an EBS data lifecycle, which actually is used to automate the process of creating, retaining, copying, deleting snapshots and AMI. And we explain the process. You create a server with the content, and then you create a policy, a lifecycle policy that automates the process. So in every hour you have a new snapshot backed up by an AMI every hour. Thank you so much for your time today. I hope you enjoyed the session and have a great day.